welcome to another episode of Cat Poop Crazy Carl. This is episode 3. I'll call this one Racism 101, Emotional Damage. Yeah, that's what I call it. I know, I'm stupid, right? But yeah, this one right here, I always thought all my shows and all my concepts with a premise that everything begins on before I tell you these jokes, which may be harsh, different, pushing our boundaries, because remember, the whole point of this channel is to bring understanding through comedy, discussing real things in a funny way so we can understand each other better. And that's what this channel is about, and I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. So for episode 3, Reparations 101, Emotional Damage, I'll have another set of jokes that are basically going to bring together an understanding of what the typical African American feels on the inside on a regular basis. I think we've kind of lost a bit of connection as fellow Americans. Some people don't feel how my Latino brothers feel, Asian brothers, but African Americans, as you see from the large protests, you see from the police issues, you see from what goes on, you see from the problems that are happening, that there seems to be a lack of understanding. I think a lot of people, I'm actually a functional brother. No jail, no kids, I work hard, I have a 401k, I have stock, and I have a bright and wonderful future. So a lot of people, they put a lot of stuff on me that is not me. And I tell these kind of jokes because I want to bring an understanding of, it's some things, it's not everything, and it's not all things. And that's what Reparations 101 is all about. I think I'm going to make this a 2-parter, so let's call this Reparations 101, Emotional Damage, Part 1. Let's go, y'all. All right, you guys, now it's time for the fun part. I'm so stupid, right? So this particular first section of Reparations 101, Emotional Damage. I love that. Part 1, this particular segment is called The Package. And this is when I start to get buck wild. So the package is something I thought of because, as you may or may not noticed, I am an African American. I know, right? I know. My black is beautiful. So anyway, people, when you want to be African American, you want to be an entertainer, you go out there, you tell your little jokes, or you do your little rap songs, or you run for president, you become a politician, and when you get big, the first thing black people ask you is, hey brother, I see you say you black, but where your black stuff at? I'm like, ooh, man. Maybe I was trying to be too universal. So I said, man, I gotta think of something. I gotta let people know what it is, you know what I'm saying, right? So I said, okay, here you go. So one of the problems that pretty much this main episode is titled after is reparations. One of my thoughts about that situation is the package. We don't got the money for it. We can't cut a check. We can't do this. We can't do that. We can't do this. We can't do that. That's the anti-reparations dance, by the way, that people do when you talk about it. We can't do this. We can't do that. We can't do this. We can't do that. That's God, I'm just sitting there like, so, okay, fine. I guess they can't do it. So I'm like, you know what? I got you. I got you. Mr. Can't do this, can't do that. So I got a package you can't deny. And basically, I call it the slave ship arrival package. When the first slave ships came, they landed in a few major states. And we're going to talk about that right now. So I said, forget the money, forget all that, forget all the other stuff. Just give us the land that African Americans first turned up and were delivered on, similar to what the Native Americans had. And we could turn these particular states into reservations where African Americans can live there for cheap to free in the same fashion as my Native Americans do with their package with the government, right? We have our own cops and everything. We'd be wilding up. And so The first state I wanted to talk about is Virginia. That's right, that's where the first slave ships arrived back in the 1600s to drop the homies off from a long trip across the pond. Yes, yes, yes. Now I'm telling you, Virginia is one of my favorite places. I actually used to go to school in Virginia, and I'm gonna tell you one thing that we learned in Virginia was the name of that place. Virginia is for lovers, and the main reason why is because everybody is milking, everybody getting naked, and don't nobody wear condoms. Virginia's for lovers. The next state that we need to request is South Carolina. That's right, that's another place we showed up at. I know it's a lot of rednecks in them hills, but we wanted to get them up out of there. Because South Carolina is another place where we came in. That's where my family is from. This is South Carolina, French Seas black man right here. Yeah, that's right, South Carolina, French Seas, boy. Anyway, I might be one of them geeches. I'm a geecher, boy. Anyway, I'm tripping. So South Carolina is another place that should be set up as a recreation as part of our package. That's right, our package. Give it to us. South Carolina, another place I love because South Carolina, you know, everybody get to bang anything. I mean, shoot, in South Carolina, I heard people even banging their cousins. Like they kind of got like an R. Kelly thing. So I think we're gonna send all the R. Kellys from the community to South Carolina, and maybe Bill Cosby. We'll give like a Bill Cosby section, and then we'll have like an R. Kelly section. And then we'll have like a Tory Lane section, and that will be where all the gunfire happens. So that's South Carolina. Of course, the next state that they owe us is North Carolina. You know, they had us all North Carolina. Go down to North Carolina right now, man. We don't want nothing. All I want is North Carolina land, and make sure that all them big booty girls from North Carolina A&T stay there too. I'm good. Oh, and also leave us that tobacco because we do like to smoke. That's going to be our smoking state. Tobacco road, you're dirty and you're filthy, and that girl got a big booty too. So that's North Carolina. Where we want that state back too. Part of the package. Give it up, give it up. That's what we showed up at. And the last state that we showed up at, which I ain't even sure about this one, man, but Florida. Florida's one of the early places, right? And I'm kind of cool in Florida, man. Like, actually, as part of the package, I think we should have the government build a wall around Florida and put all the white people we don't like in there. That's good. So that's going to be a black reservation, but it's going to be filled with number white people we don't like. Yeah. Joe Biden, you're definitely in there. Who's the guy with the bad arm? Who's the guy that was kept in a cage? John McCain? Yeah, your ass in there too. My friend. Out of here, John, with your bitch ass. Anyway, I'm telling you, this is how we feel. So that's what we're going to do with Florida. We're not going to put no black people there. We're actually going to free all the black people from Florida, have them build a wall as part of the package, and put all the white people we don't like in there. And if any Caucasians offend us over the next 200 years, Tucker Carlson, watch your ass. We put your ass in Florida. Build a wall around Florida anyway. I don't care if it's part of the package. Just build a wall around Florida. Save us all, please, God. So that's the first one. The package. I'm going to teach you guys how to get fired from your job. That's right. A thing that African Americans seem to specialize in this country. Now, one thing you don't know, I learned as a job switcher of sorts in my youth, is that if you quit a job, you don't get unemployment in most states. Some states do have certain mandatories, but most states, if you actually quit and leave your job, you're leaving willingly, therefore you are not eligible for the unemployment payments, right? So the trick that me and my friends learned over time was like, yo, if you really want to leave a job, but you want to make sure you get unemployment and you don't really know the laws of the state, do not quit. Do not do something stupid to get you fired so they can badmouth you after and say, well, he got fired because he punched John in the face. For Christ's sake. I mean, God, these African Americans, they're aggressive. You don't want that, right? What you do is, you see the Christmas party coming up. You're like, Christmas party. I'm getting drunk that night. So you go to the Christmas party, they're jamming, there's karaoke, little Asian dudes going, hey, ho. I was like, I don't know why they love Hip Hop Parade so much, but that is like the non-black people's national black anthem, Hip Hop Parade, Jesus Christ. And Will Smith Summertime. Don't stop me, right? So they're singing, they're doing the karaoke, and of course, you see Karen. Oh shit. That's Karen's motherfucker. I'll be back here. Oh, Karen, how you doing, man? I'm glad to see you at the party, Karen. Yo, Karen, oh my God, I heard these great jokes. I gotta tell you too. Do you like racist jokes? Oh man, of course you do. You gotta check these joints out. Let me tell you about it. So here's the first one, Karen. Why did the chicken cross the road? She's like, why? Oh, because it was nighttime and there was 3 black guys coming down the street. That's the first one. I know, right? Oh my God, it's so funny you can't even laugh, right, Karen? I know. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Oh, wait a second. Okay. So, Karen, next one. No, where you going, Karen? Where you going? Karen, get over here, girl. Stop playing. Okay, Karen. Okay, so here's the next one. What happened to the 3 little pigs? She like, what? Oh, they moved into a black neighborhood, never had a chance. Oh, girl, I know, right? That was my second favorite one. You gotta hear my favorite, though. Listen, Karen. This is my favorite one. And everybody knows this one, right? Knock, knock. She's like, Karen, knock, knock. It's like, okay, Jesus Christ. Who's there? That friend that always comes over your house, never has any money, always wants to borrow your weed and drugs and eat everything up, then leave and never help for anything, and sometimes even steal stuff from your own house, but then help you look for it, because that's the kind of person that they are, and they do typically have a dark tan. Right, Karen, that is so funny. My name's Carl Anthony, by the way. I stay on the 3rd floor. I am in accounting. Have a good night, Karen. And that's how you get your unemployment guaranteed. So that's segment number 2. So I'm gonna call this an interlude. As we enter into part 2, because I'll split that up, because I think those first 2 cover a nice good bit of time. Maybe yes, maybe no. But this interlude we have going on right now, I want to talk about some serious stuff. And this is something that I think a lot of African Americans, it goes back to what my premise was about. We're misrepresented a lot, but we also crazy as hell. So we self-misrepresent. And because of that, you may notice when you see the news, when you see crime, when you see the videos, when you see the movies, when you see Empire, when you see the 50 Cent shows, when you see the Hollywood shows, everybody's just fighting and shooting and banging and having sex and just very wild. Our culture looks crazy, right? And a lot of it is poverty driven, which does promote crime. And I always used to feel bad because I was like, damn, man, why we always gotta be doing all this crime? Why we do all the crime? Why it seem like all we do is the crime all day? And then you hear the people on the news, Tucker Carlson and them, oh yeah, African Americans do the majority of all crime in the entire country. And you're like, yo, we do? I'm like, how are we 14% of the country and we do the majority of all violent crime? I'm like, no, that don't make sense. And we're not. So, oh my God, I looked something up, right? And guess what I looked up? I looked up the FBI crime stats. They have a breakdown. I believe it's a figure that's in the mid-20s. It's a breakdown by color of all the arrests in America and whatnot. And I looked at 28 different crime statistic categories. Man, these 28 categories is everything you can think of. Well, African Americans do lead in 4 of the 28 categories. Assault and battery, armed robbery, murder, and there's another, I think it's another violent kind of crime, right? Oh no, it was like burglary, something else, like stealing or something like that, right? So those are the 4 where we do 40 to 50% of the crime in just those 4 categories. But there are 28 other crime categories which we do not lead in. Some we compete in, but we don't lead in them. You know who leads every single crime category outside of those 4 to 5 ones? Even sexual stuff? Yeah. You know who leads that? Like 70%? And most of the other ones, 60%, 50%, 65%, 70%, 48%. My Caucasian brother. When you actually look at the amount of numbers of actual arrests, literally, I'm talking tens of millions of my Caucasian brothers are being arrested. Now, on a total separate note, in defense of my Caucasian brothers, why y'all going to jail that much? That's crazy. We need to deal with that on a separate note. But on the side note, how's it been spun that we're the ones? I'm going to tell you, I've seen cops. I looked at the statistics and I realized that if you break down the numbers of arrests between African Americans and all other races, we do like 1% of all actual true crime in America. So that was just a moment of clarity for the break. And now we're going to finish up this little special. Reparations 101, emotional damage. I be bugging when I do these shows. Now, one thing that a lot of African Americans don't get to deal with, as I spoke, we have a lot of violence and crime in a lot of our communities, unfortunately, because of economic issues. Money's a problem. You don't got money. You tend to do crime. You tend to make poor decisions. Get into issues. Well, when I moved out of Philadelphia, my hometown, and I moved to Los Angeles, California, where I stand today, I saw some different things. Back east in New York and stuff, you kind of got to find rich people. You got to search them out. You got to really know where they at to see them. And when you find them, dog, they like mad, crusty, and old, and pale, and like hiding in the corner of a piss-colored building, counting up their dollars. And banker money, old man money. They just pale. They don't ever leave the house, right? So you think, oh my God, all rich people is nothing but old, crusty, nasty, mean dudes, look like judges. You don't really mess with them, right? But then I bought my little chocolate behind to California, where I don't know if y'all noticed, it's about 7 to 9 black people here. I'm not playing. And the rest of them is Puerto Ricans and Latino. That's what I got. And Asians. There's more Asians here than anything. Crazy. So I get here, and I start meeting these rich dudes that are like 27, 28, 35, 42. They like low, mid-age, middle-aged guys running the whole company. Cribs out in Malibu, kicking it at Nobu, going to the Soho house, buying cars, getting bottles, getting us into Bootsy Bellas, kicking it left here. And I'm just like, yo, these dudes is doing it, right? So I'm thinking these guys work really, really hard. Like, because you know how African Americans are. You work hard, you get a lot of money, work yourself to death like slavery, you'll be rich. That's how we think. That's why we never have any money, right? Well, these guys, dude, you'll be out at a party with them, news just go booch, booch, and you might even get to talking to him about society and money. And he's talking to you back like, yeah, Carl, I don't understand why these people here don't want to work. They're lazy. I mean, I refuse to pay people, more than $12 an hour. I don't care if I make $100,000 a week. I don't care. And then he's like, you know what, Carl? 1 second. And I'm like, what is you doing? He's like, oh, I was just working right quick. Basically, about 10 minutes a day, I get on my computer, I click a couple buttons, and I make $100,000 a week. And then I pay everybody else about $200 a week as my employees, because they really do all the actual work. But they're lazy. They won't just give me my money. I mean, who these people think they are? Ooch, ooch, ooch. And I'm like, well, what do you do? What do you do for a living, bro? How do you do that? He's like, well, back in the day when I first, got to LA, I was a skater, right? And so a couple of my bros, they were like, man, I need a pattern for my skateboard. So I just started making skateboards and t-shirts and sold them to a couple of my bros. And then my Coke dealer, he knew a lot of rich guys in Malibu who liked to surf, who were like, fronting basically, they're, jokers, players, fakers, not the Lakers, by the way. And these dudes, they just were buying $10,000 skateboards from me. So now I just built a company. I hire and underpay people, and that's how the rich get rich. This blew my goddamn mind. My whole life I've been working hard, grinding to the stone, 40 hours a day, most consistent employee, this, that, and the third. And all I had to do was do a bunch of cocaine, hang out with a rich dude in California, and make him a fucking t-shirt, and I'd be rich. So that's a reality for any of us African-American brothers that Man, man, they got money that lasts forever. I had to stop and be serious for a second. You should see the kind of money they got. Y'all don't even know. If you knew how much money rich people really had, you probably decide you want to kill and eat them all tomorrow. But don't you do that, because that's violence and that's wrong, and we don't want to incite violence with our conversations. But that's what you poor people would do. But you better not do anything like that, because jail sucks, prison stinks, and you don't want some guy named Rocco rubbing your back at night. It's the worst thing ever. Don't trust me, because I ain't never been. All right. So this is our final talk in Reparations 101, emotional damage, which I think I have fully displayed in this video. And this is the final piece. And the final one, rent check Ramadan. People are like, what rent check Ramadan? What the heck is that? Well, in the African American community, you may have heard the things I talked about earlier, the crime issues, things related to economic concerns. Well, one of the other things that really hurt the African American community that I think a lot of people don't understand is financial knowledge about stocks, saving, bonds, investment, things like that. So a lot of times we find these things out very late in life. So accommodate this, what brothers like myself will do to make sure I keep my rent paid, keep my bills paid, and be a good black man. I pay all my bills right up front. First of the month, the whole rent, cell phone, internet, I buy as much food as I can get. And then for the next 2 weeks, I'm on what I call rent check Ramadan, where literally the only way I can survive is to basically only eat at night after it's dark, and during the daytime it's like an apple and some water. People's like, yo, is you Muslim? I'm like, no, this is my life. What is you talking about? They're like, what, man, you in such great shape to be so old. I said, I starve for 2 weeks a month and for the last 10 years. That's why I'm so fine. Thank God for poor economics. I didn't get really big like some other people do, right? And people are like, well, hold up, dude. You know you don't gotta struggle like that, bro. You could very easily manage your money. What you do is you save a little money from your last check, save a little money from your other check, then you can really enjoy yourself in between. And I'm just like, you know what? To hell with you. You think you're so smart because you can like add and keep numbers together and your life is organized. I'm more of a, somebody calls me for Vegas and I spend $400 in a night and then regret it on rent day. Okay, that's how I do. So no, we pay up front, and if Vegas happens, it does, but the rent is paid. I will go to Vegas broke before I go to Vegas and not come back to no house. So that's how a good black man. So that's decisions we gotta make, because our financial literacy is struggling. And that's just a close to this, guys. All this stuff I'm making jokes about and talking silly about and saying crazy stuff about, it's just to wake your minds up to what's going on out there and give you some understanding to what's going on inside of the African American soul. And plus, I want that land. I really want Virginia. I love not using condoms, but don't make babies unless you love somebody. You guys be good. That's Cat Poop Crazy Carl, and we out of here. Reparations 101. Emotional damage.